Hey everybody, DayTraderRockStar here, and an updated video here coming into the end of April. End of April. You know the old saying, sell in May and go away. Well, we'll talk more about that in a second. It is the end of April. The first thing I want to mention, we have a coupon code, tax time, we've put out for just a few days. It ends at the end of April here, so take advantage of it, tax time. Do you know what that means? It means if you go to sign up, that tax time gives you a huge discount. As you know, we're an online broadcasting trading site. And if you're not familiar with us, we have so many different products that we offer our traders to help them be successful, plus myself and many of our traders live on the air every day from 7:30 in the morning till 4 o'clock in the evening. We've been doing this from 2007. And you've probably gotten these emails before, so I'm not going to go into it too much, but I will explain how that works. The $500 code is for the exclusive lifetime membership, which includes everything under the Day Trading Radio banner. The School of Stock, which is our educational courses, which teaches you how to trade. It's the foundation, the tradeometer. It's our scalping indicators, the Rockbot, and you get the Rockbot script, which is you can use on your Ninja Trader platform. It's written in Ninja script, and it actually can trade for you. My Trader playbook and handbook, high probability setups, the watch list, and the videos that go out each week, identifying the trades for the following week. Now, we've been holding a sale, but this coupon that lasts just a couple more days gives you $500 off the sale price. So what you want to do, and again, you can take any of the different packages, the monthly package, 3-month package, or the yearly package. But as you can see, that the lifetime package is definitely worth it, especially if you apply the coupon code, because $5.99 yearly. So if you want to sign up on that, very simple to do. Just click on that. Click on the lifetime. Say you're going to pay with PayPal or credit card. Put in your name. I'm just going to put it in test. Just going to show you what it shows you real fast. I'm going to put my email in as test at yahoo.com. And then you're going to pick your username, a login name. I'm going to put test down. And I'll post a password test. And I'll put another, confirm that password as test. And then we're going to enter the coupon code. So this is the important part. So we're going to put in tax time, TAXTIME. And we're going to hit continue. And it should, let me see. Let's see if it's updating. Oh, the test username has been taken by another user. Well, I just signed up because I was testing it out. So I'll put in test 1 and see if that works. There you go, with the same email already. I was just practicing with it. I just want to make sure everything was set up right. So let's just do test 1 here. All right. So I apologize for that. Continue. And then it'll direct you. It'll redirect you to your PayPal page or your... Oh, no. No, don't do this to me. Now it's asking for a code. Log in with the one-time code. All right, here it is. Thank you. 592607. Let's see if that works. And then you can see the price here is $7.99. Just disappeared. Hopefully I just didn't buy that. $7.99. $7.99. So it just takes the discounts and then you follow through with that. So again, nice little $500 discount off of that. If you want to take advantage of that tax time code, at Day Trading Radio, good for 2 more days. I would take advantage of it. It's a fantastic deal. All right, let's jump right into it. Even today, we had a good day. I mean, today was a big day in the markets. We'll just take a look at the S&P cash chart right now, which we want to start off with. And you can see we gapped up and we kind of grinded up all day long. Now, there was a trend line here and an area that I was watching. And we kind of blew through that, but I'm not saying that it's going to be an interesting day tomorrow because we had some good earnings. We had earnings out. Some things are moving around. But this is what the daily chart looks like. and we got a big pop on it. And it's not that we turned back up aggressively on the stochastics here. You can see they're kind of flatlined here, but it was a decent day. And we got us back up above a couple major trend lines. This lower trend line that goes out to the October lows, comes up through the January lows, where we broke down through it and we got back above it and held it, and now we're kind of fighting with it. So it's back and forth. But the concern here is that we don't have an aggressive turn up. When I say an aggressive turn up, we should have a steeper angle. The best angle to have is a steep angle like back here. What I call a Nike check mark. Basically, a big, sharp angle. You know, the sharper the angle, the better the follow-through rally is going to be. If it's kind of flatlined and you got a big pop and it's not really doing much, it ends up being a little relative weakness. It's not giving us the signal we want, and we could actually lose this. This needs to be seen, and we're going to go into May, and we'll see how May performs. May, typically a bearish, kind of an underperforming month. And also pre-election years, it's not the best month. I think it's the second worst month, according to the Stock Trader Almanac, our good friend Jeff Hirsch out there. So tomorrow should be key, though. We had Amazon come out today, and let's just take a look at the Amazon chart fast. Now, Amazon popped and then dropped. Now, this is the story of this market. It is frustrating for traders to see this, especially if you had options on this. You know, you get a beautiful 10-point pop or whatever it is, you know, about 10, 12 points, and then by the time tomorrow comes, this thing's right back where we begin, and the volatility crush comes in, and it's just an awful feeling. And that's what the market's been feeling like. It's very hard to get any ground and any footwork or any upside in this market without seeing some sellers coming in. So Amazon here is going to affect things. We had Intel out, INTC, just to kind of go over a few of them. Now Intel, actually, I did like the Intel setup here, and it actually is holding up pretty good at 31. If we take a look at the daily chart on Intel, big candle. You can see where we closed up here. I did like the Intel. We also had Pinterest, which I didn't really look at, so I'm looking at it with you. Oh, Pinterest got crushed here. Crushed. All right, so no position in Pinterest. Interesting to follow some of these. And Net, another one, which was kind of a tough one. And look at that, Net got crushed also. So these are all had earnings, and they all really pretty much got hit pretty bad. Look at this. This got really nailed here, back down to 44. Now today we got something that got hit pretty good today. It was the ABBV, and this is a stock we took for a ride. And you know what? We picked it up today, and we had a nice trade on it. We had a beautiful trade, made about 150. I forget what we got. I have to look at it again. I'll bring it up for you. But we made a couple, close to a couple $100 on it, just on a couple contracts, and not a big move, as you can see. It sold off, and it really didn't bounce, but we made our money from here to here, and we sold it, and it actually came back down, and we got out perfect. Now, I would give this 5 to 7 day, what we call a 5 to 7 day pullback before getting back in, and I do think it does rotate back up. Maybe even rotates back up tomorrow. We'll see. Pfizer started to show a little relative strength at the end of the day, and I am long Pfizer. So we shall see how that performs tomorrow here. So I am liking the Pfizer down here. Amgen came out with earnings today, and again, that will be a mover tomorrow too, in one way or another. You can see it dropped off and then kind of came back and setting up. Anytime you have a drop off and it comes back and takes out the previous highs, that's usually very bullish. So any of these stocks that we're looking at, if they run tomorrow and break back above the recent highs, or that right before the earnings came out, then these would be very bullish. And Amgen doesn't look that bad on that setup. But that's what we're looking for on those. I'm not seeing anything exciting for you. Let's take a look at the trades we did take today. All right, let's just start off with that. All right, let's take a look at this. Starting off this morning when we came in. All right, well, this is where we left off. Yesterday we sold the ELEV for a nice little profit. We ended up buying the FRC, but this is when we came in this morning. So at 9:35, the CFRX was rallying. We had 200 shares on that. We picked up at 210. I sold it at 280. 280. That's CFRX. So let's take a look at that one. CFRX. And you can see the nice run we had on this. This was pre-market. And the rule on pre-market trades, when a stock is showing good strength going into the open, you look for a pop at the open and you sell, and the majority, 80% of them will trend down lower the rest of the day. So that's exactly what we did. Right when they opened it, you saw that price, you saw that the time frame right here. We got out of that at 9:35 at $2.80. So take a look at that. I mean, that was right here, $2.80, right up here. We got out of it. That was the right thing to do. And don't get greedy on these stocks. You know, that's the most important thing I could teach you is patience and discipline to take your profits. You're not going to get rich on any of these, but you're going to continue to be very profitable, and it's going to add up. It's going to add up pretty fast. So we took care of that, and then we sold some of this FRC, which I picked up the day before, only 50 shares, and it wasn't moving. I took a $66 loss on it. So I got out of that. Then we took a new position on Disney. Now Disney, wow, what a move on Disney. And I was banging the table. That was our first, and that's the first stock we're going to talk about. And that's going to, tomorrow's Friday is when we put out the new HPS watch list, and that watch list goes out to all the members. And that sets up all the buy alerts and the triggers and everything. And right at the open here, I said, Disney is set up really good. If we take a look at the daily, you got this consolidation, but you're in the lower part of that. And the consolidation wasn't even that bad, And what happens, we got pretty much oversold. You see, we made our way down. Kind of a series of lower highs. I wouldn't call it coil as much as just, taking its time getting down there. And we're not 100% oversold yet, but I love the support area. This the little base back here that I put this little rectangle in here, and I said, all right, let's take a look. So I ended up getting in it. I like the story behind it. I think the news kind of pressured it, but it didn't pressure it where it really sold off. It was really holding up pretty good. So our target today was $100. And where did it go? It went up to $100, and actually it went up to $100.30. Right after the close. And now it's been kind of hovering here sideways. And that's actually a good sign going into tomorrow, considering I don't know how the futures are doing right now, but I think that's a good sign. So we're in the Disney calls. I picked up 2 calls, and we're up about, up about $200 on that just today. And my target on this is going to be 102 to 104. Maybe even possibly, 102, 104. And that'll be on the HPS watch list. So you get an extra special little bonus there for those that are not members. I can tell you that Disney is going to be one of the best bets going into next week. All right. So let's go back to our second trade of the day. And again, we got in on that. Again, you could see we got in on that pretty early, 954, 380. Then we picked up Riley. Now, Riley was a stock that we crushed last week. We did another great job on Riley. Thanks to Jerry Jr., I give him a little credit for bringing that one to my attention down here. And that's what we call a coiled stochastic channel breakout. So you have this beautiful coil, a series of lower highs, and then we get down to a point like here, and then we break out. When it breaks out, everything breaks out. So we got the breakout. We ended up selling, and we just got back in it today, and you could see the big pop it had. And that was all she wrote. Now, I think we could go a little bit higher. I think this low and this low is going to hold, and we're going to start making our way back up. Remember, a lot of insider buying on this one. Remember, go back to someone. And again, this will be on the video tomorrow, so I'll go into more detail because we're back in on Riley, and I think this is a great pullback on Riley right here. So let's go to the next one. We'll break that down more tomorrow. So we got back 100, and we're up about 100 and change on that one right now. Again, we bought it at just under $30, and as you can see, it's at 30. Oh, actually, it pulled back. It was up about 31. It was at 31.50. It did close down a little lower, 30.69. It was up 100 and change. Let's take a look at a 5-minute chart here. And that actually is going to be up here. It's going to be above 31. That's a bad print here after hours right here. That's why it's down. So we're up $100 on that trade alone. Just 100 shares. So again, another $100 on that. And it's not a lot. It's but it is. There are high probability zones. So then we picked up some ABV. Talked about that. This is getting crushed. Picked up the 150 calls. And I picked up some SPY puts today as we go into the latter part of the day to see if we were going to get a pullback. Still holding those. Then we end up selling the ABV. And again, look at we got $184. So add that to the till today. That was a beautiful trade on the bounce. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to take it. It's a good profit to have on 2 calls, $184. I have no guarantee that this is going to continue to push higher. My goal was 150 to 152. It got up to one. I ended up taking it off or whatever it was at the time, and then at the end of the day, I ended up adding to my CI, and CI is the next one I want to talk about here. I think this one has big potential, big potential. Cigna Healthcare Group. All right, let's break it out. Let's break it down. First of all, where did this thing come from? Well, look at this. 2023, beginning of the year. It's been trending down. I want to change the color there to black. So it's a clean, and we'll make it a little thicker here. All right, so there's the trend line above us, and then you see the trend line below us. I'm going to fix that a little for you. And that's the trend line below us. Now, we kind of capitulated through the trend line, and we got back above it. Then we started pulling back. And right when we got back down to this trend line, this is what we start to like this. Now, it's been chopping around and slowly drifting here. Just a slow drift. Can it break down a little further? Yeah, it definitely could. I mean, there's a lot of space down here. I'm not saying that I'm going to call this perfectly, but a lot of things are starting to line up for us. We have the oversold levels on the daily. All right, we got that oversold. It wasn't a perfect, there's no divergence here, which would be nice. And it's not a reversal candle, so we only have kind of one indicator. So we're kind of taking our time. I feel like we could get that big pop eventually. One of these days. Let's see what we have here. So I'm in this one. We're going to continue to watch it. If we start to see that grind up day, then we're going to be set. As long as this thing starts to turn back up. Again, we look back here. There's one concept I always tell traders. Always be with the direction of the stochastics here. On whatever time frame you're planning on trading, if this is a longer term trade, to make sure your longer term charts are in your favor. Now, we're not exactly in our favor yet. We're heading down. So we're kind of jumping into this, into the fear, which I don't mind doing sometimes. That's the only way you could actually catch a bottom is to buy the fear, buy the weakness. It's the only way to catch a bottom is to buy the weakness. Buy as it's selling. Most people are running while it's selling and selling while it's selling. In some cases, you got to step up and you got to buy, and that's when you make the big moves. Well, as you can see, once you start to turn back up on the stochastics, you start to get the momentum on your side. Here you got oversold, and then it turned back up, and you had a huge move. Here you got oversold, nice pullback, and then a nice huge move. Here you got oversold, and a nice little move up here before dropping back down. And you got oversold, and then you had a nice little move up, and then it rotated back down, and then you had a small little drip here, pop, and now we're oversold. So again, into this oversold level, if we can start to turn back up, this has huge potential, but it hasn't turned back up yet, and we're keeping that up. So you're going to watch a couple things. You're going to watch what we call a closing high. Previous high in the candlestick is very important to kind of get through that. Like to see some type of reversal candle where you flush out the lows and then close higher. Could that have happened today? We did flush out, I think we did flush out the lows here. The only thing is we haven't had a good close. We haven't had a strong close and a big reversal candle. The only thing we have going for us is this lower trend line and the stochastics. It's close, but not, I'm not saying this is perfect. I do like the Disney better as a best bet going into next week, but all those stocks will be defined tomorrow, and it will go out tomorrow night for next week for the members. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot more on the list because I'm always scanning. There's a lot of stocks out there, and we're overdue for some good divergences. We're definitely overdue for some good divergences, as I'm always scanning for them. And that was it for the trades today, but overall, we were up quite a bit, Now, if you watched the show yesterday with me, I was looking at this charter, and it came up on my scanner, and I liked it so much. And someone mentioned that the earnings are coming out like tomorrow, and I was watching it, and I didn't really put too much into it. And I said, I'm going to wait a day. So I woke up this morning; it was already gapped up, and I watched it run like 20 points from where we were going to get it. We were going to be in at 320. It moved up to the 345. I mean, it was up 25 points today. That really, that was something I was eyeballing really well, a lot yesterday. And I didn't pull the trigger, and now it got away from me. Earnings are out tomorrow. We'll see what happens. I mean, I'm curious to see how this thing plays out. Just think about where this thing came from. It came from $800 all the way down to $300. We'll see. We'll see how it sets up. Charter communication. There's a couple other stocks that we continue to watch for a pullback. Now, we had a good pullback yesterday in Sherwin-Williams. Today, we had a good bounce. And then the other one I'm watching and waiting for is the Stanley Black & Decker, SWK. Right, Stanley Black & Decker. And that had a big pop today. And that was that actually looks pretty good. Talked about the breakout today. And it held that pivot area down here, and it broke through this. The stochastics are just starting up here. I mean, this actually looks quite good. And yeah, we were in this one from this point on. We took profits here, and then it kind of pulled back. Still looks pretty good now. I mean, we are starting to break. I would expect this to get a follow-through day tomorrow. And if you're in it, 83 to 85 is definitely, 83 is a given. 86 to 88 is a possibility. The 200 period moving average all the way up here at 91. Well, that's not going to happen tomorrow, but we'll see when that does happen. But I like the breakout here. Good breakout. And the volume, if you look down the lower volume spike, that's always an important signal is when you get a breakout on volume. You tend to get the follow-through day. So here's the little pullback. Here's a breakout on volume, and you had that nice follow-through day. All right. But we did, I am holding these puts. These puts I am holding. I'm underwater on them. I actually took a contract long, short here too that I'm down on it a little, but I only took one MES, so it's not that bad. And just because I like that trend line and I wanted to see if we could actually break down through it. Maybe we come back down to it overnight and we come back underneath it and we take that, we get these, if we start to see some selling tomorrow, I don't know if we're going to jump on the puts or not. I'm very curious to see how tomorrow plays out. I mean, this candle today is a pretty decent candle. I'd love to get some follow through. The stochastics didn't turn back up, but if we get some news, this thing could actually get back up here. There's a lot of upside here. And that's it. I mean, tomorrow I'm going to be doing my research live on the air. I'll be in the office early at about 7:30, 7:40 to hit the pre-market poppers. Now, speaking about pre-market poppers, we had the CFRX. We look, and again, this is important too. This is I want to get a good team together, a good team of traders. And if you're going to be dedicated to get in there in the morning, let me know, because I want I want to crush the morning trades because we have opportunities to make 100%. Some gains could be over 100% gains on some of these stocks. So very important that we step up and we take advantage of all the resources. Now I try to do as much as I can in the pre-market, but this is where the big money could be made. Just a couple here. Let's take a look here. MEGL here, after hours. You can see the huge pop. Now I'm not in front of this. I had to run out today, but look at this thing move. I mean, this is up 300%. 300%. All right, that brings us to the end of the watch list. I want to get this out here. Best bets going into tomorrow. Again, looking for follow through in Disney. Like to see something happen here in the CI very soon. Cigna Group. There is RPM here, which is, I just came across RPM, or a great RPM. You can see the gap down, the push back up off to the 20, a little pullback, kind of a double bottom. Showing up as a divergence on my screen at a pretty decent day today. A little pop on that. So again, looking to see if this channel holds up and moves higher. I just noticed that one. But I'll leave you with those. I'll be doing a whole full watch list tomorrow, so stay tuned. And that'll go out to members. And remember, use the coupon code TAXTIME. It's good until tomorrow evening for that $500 off the lifetime membership. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll see you in the markets tomorrow at 7:30. And we're going to make some good money tomorrow. Take care.